So that's the kind of stuff you need to know. Any questions about those? Chapter 10, the equation. CO2 plus 12H2O yields C6H12O6, 6O2, 6H2O. Describe a chloroplast. Be able to draw it, be able to label it. I want you to be able to relate the processes to the organelle in which they're taking place. Structure and function. Location, raw materials, and products of the late reactions in Calvin cycle. You can do it as the black box again. Light reaction, Calvin cycle. Fill in all the arrows. Light reaction, obviously light. What else? From the environment. The water. Waste product. O2. Two major products. Okay, cycling back in, ADP plus phosphate and NADP plus. Calvin cycle from the environment, CO2. Main product,
Sugar.
waste product. Okay. Where? Thylakoid. Where? Stroma. Process called photolysis takes place. And we see this process going on also. Yep. Only this one. This is it. Just this. And these are going to be used to generate this. And down here, we had 3 stages. What were the 3 stages? Carbon fixation, regeneration, reduction, and regeneration. What's regenerated? A 5-carbon sugar called ribulose biphosphate.
And how are 2 3-carbons going to get it for a 5-carbon?
Actually, it's 5 3s make 3 5s. That's what happens. Total 15 here and 15 here. But that's where the magic comes in. I said, this going from this to this is where it's really, really confusing as hell, quite honestly. How many turns of this to produce one of these? 6. You got that right. Okay. Okay. So light reaction, Calvin cycle, photolysis, we just discussed. What are these 2 things? Well, yeah, but what are they, technically, what are they being used for in these processes? Intermediate energy carriers. They're carrying electrons and protons. Roy G. Biv, Nature of Light. That's all the different wavelengths of light that create the colors. Visible light, we're not talking about infrareds and ultraviolets. Plants don't utilize those. And of those, red and violet are the most important. So if we start at the ends and work our way in, less and less utilization of those wavelengths. You're going to do a lab. The lab number 8 that you do, you're going to work with those. We're going to bring out the spectrophotometers again, and you're going to find out which ones are being absorbed. Okay, what are the various pigments? What are the 4 pigments we've been talking about? A and B. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, xanthophyll, carotene. Of those, yeah, you can see them. Which are the accessory pigments?
Besides chlorophyll A.
Everything but chlorophyll A, yeah. Why is chlorophyll A so important?
It absorbs the most.
Yeah, it uses the reds and violets most efficiently, and it is the heart of the reacting system. Okay. What's the electron transport system do in the chloroplast? Yeah, I know. All right, it actively pumps
H plus electron.
H plus
Or H plus up and then through.
from
From the stroma?
stroma into the inside of the thylakoid. Where does it get the energy to pump
The electron passing
them? The electrons from the water. The electrons provide the energy to activate the pumps. These are ion pumps. Remember I told you, I said, when we talked about active transport way back in chapter 7, I guess it was, I said ion pumps. And I'll talk more about them later on. This is when we talked about them. Okay, and what's ATP synthase? What is it? It's a protein channel, but what does it do?
Actively transports H plus, and I think the H plus passing through
Always.
causes the ATP to combine.
Yep, this is where the ATP is generated when hydrogen ions come through. Here, let's watch one more thing and then we'll call it a night. Now that we've talked about all these things, this video should make more sense than it had.
To breathe. They perform this amazing feat by the process of photosynthesis. Let's take a closer look. Photosynthesis requires carbon dioxide, which diffuses into the leaf through small pores, and then enters the cells. Inside the cell, carbon dioxide diffuses into the chloroplasts, where photosynthesis takes place. Chloroplasts use energy from light to transform carbon dioxide and water into sugar and oxygen. Zooming into a chloroplast, we see these flattened membranous sacs called thylakoids. Here, light energy is converted to chemical energy in the first phase of photosynthesis, the light reactions. The 2 green structures you see here are photosystems, large complexes of proteins and chlorophyll that capture light energy. An electron transport chain connects the 2
That's
photosystems.
the purple.
Notice the small mobile electron carriers that shuttle electrons from one large complex to another. Now let's take a closer look at the steps of the light reactions. The photosystem on the left absorbs light energy, exciting electrons that
That's
enter the
photosystem
electron
two.
transport chain. Electrons are replaced with electrons stripped from water,
And that's
creating
photolysis.
oxygen as a byproduct. The energized electrons flow down the electron transport chain, releasing energy that is used to pump hydrogen ions, the
There's the
blue
active
balls,
transport.
into the thylakoid. In the photosystem on the right, light energy excites electrons, and this time the electrons are captured by an electron carrier molecule,
That was the
NADPH.
The red one.
The high concentration of hydrogen ions inside the thylakoid powers ATP synthase,
That's
producing ATP.
chemiosmosis there.
The light reactions in the thylakoid have produced two energy products, ATP and NADPH, that will now power the production of sugar in the Calvin cycle. The Calvin cycle takes place outside the thylakoids in the stroma, the thick fluid of the chloroplast. At the beginning of the cycle, carbon dioxide molecules combine with molecules called RUBP. The resulting molecules go through a series of reactions powered by ATP and NADPH from the light reactions. Sugar molecules known as G3Ps are produced. Most of the G3Ps are rearranged back into RUBPs that will begin the Calvin cycle again. But the important product of photosynthesis is the remaining G3P sugar. Some G3Ps are used to build glucose, which can combine into starch or cellulose. Still other G3Ps form sucrose. And some of the sugar is broken down by cellular respiration using oxygen in the plant's own mitochondria, generating ATPs that can power other work of the plant. Excess oxygen diffuses out of the leaf through the pores, while more carbon dioxide enters. With three simple ingredients, carbon dioxide, water, and light, plants produce sugar and oxygen by photosynthesis, powering plant metabolism and ultimately providing your fuel as well.
Okay, folks, I'll see you Wednesday.